vintage guitars. Look at this little beauty. It's a very little guitar. It's a very little Martin. In fact, it says mini Martin, like mini-me, like little mini. This is a very interesting Martin to have in. It's not a comical model. It is a harkening back to back in the day. Some would call this a size 5. Another name is a Terz, T-E-R-Z. These are basically a shorter length Martin with a small body, very lightly braced on top. These were popularized by Johnny Cash. Johnny Cash played these all the time. Basically, they're tuned up, you would say. The neck is shorter. Really what's going on is this would be the 3rd fret on a standard guitar. So you've got a couple more frets. So you'd say this is a minor 3rd higher, 3 frets higher in pitch. So when you play, so that's G, so that's G sharp, that's your A. So this is B flat, I hope. What can we say about this instrument? This is a very interesting instrument because it's from 1999. It was commissioned by Dick Boak. So if you know your kind of Martin people, you've got Martin the Fourth, Chris Frederick Martin the Fourth, and then you've got Dick Boak as kind of the next name that a lot of people know. Dick Boak was has recently retired from Martin. He was the artist liaison. He was kind of a figurehead within the Martin story in the last 20-30 years. So this was part of his commission, and this is number 16, and it's signed by both Chris and Dick. So you got your signatures inside. We have a long saddle, which is very nice. We have East Indian rosewood back and sides. We have a Sitka top. This is 1/4-inch bracing, so it's the smaller, lighter bracing. It has a 21.4 scale length neck. It's also the neck, you would say, is very different shape to your standard Martins. At first, we've had one customer come and had a look and he goes, you'd think that it's kind of not so comfortable to play, but it's a healthy C shape and just works just right. The shorter scale length just makes it easy to play. So let's just play some of the... So having a shorter length guitar and it being a higher pitch, you can kind of play everything that you usually play and it will sound different, obviously. And that's sometimes very good for the ear if you're kind of stuck in a way something sounds. Putting a capo on your normal guitar or having something like this can bring out different ideas. Because of the shorter scale length, you can kind of mess around with different tunings. So this guitar comes with a cool write-up from Dick, and it's all signed and everything, and he explains that you could have this tuned to Nashville tuning. So to explain what Nashville tuning is very quickly, it's essentially take the wound strings off this and put on essentially a higher gauge wire string, and you tune everything up an octave. So to explain that kind of in layman's terms is, if you got a 12-string set, you would take the higher course, so the thinner string. So on the 6th string, you've got like a very thin wound string. You take that and put the secondary strings from the 12-string set on this, and then you tune it up to standard. But this E would be up, would be there, and so basically you're kind of getting this very jangly sound. I know Pink Floyd used it on one of their songs. And the Nashville tuning kind of emerged, I think, in the 50s in Nashville as just a way to kind of create a second guitar accompaniment. But yeah, this guitar's just a lot of fun to play. I've played, you generally see these as older guitars, kind of like from the late 19th century, or you see them kind of pre-World War One. But yeah, this was kind of recommissioned to make sure that there's some new ones out there. Let's do some, how's it sound for... And the last thing I'll say about this instrument is it's number 16, but this is also basically new old stock. So we got this from a guy in Australia, and what he told us, it's basically been its case its whole life. So it's from 99. It's getting on in the years, but really it's just a brand new instrument. It doesn't have any scuffs or marks on it. It has some very, very light stuff here, very, very light, just very standard. But yeah, essentially a brand new guitar. So it's very interesting to have one of these in. I'm going to be playing it a lot more over the next few weeks. It's a lot of fun. It's built like a Martin, so it sounds like a Martin, but it's just a bit higher in pitch. And that's we were talking with David, one of our guitarists that comes in. We were talking about Martins, and I was just saying, Martins sound like Martins. They're braced very simple. They have a very kind of uniform bracing idea. So when you pick up a Martin that's 100 years old, it sounds like a Martin. And once you really get used to playing a Martin, that's the great thing, is you can switch between all these different ranges and models and grades, and they all do something that's familiar, and then you can get to really appreciate the difference in build or materials. So once again, we've got a little mini Martin here, a Terz, as you would call them, a style 5. So if you want to come down and check it out, please do. My name is Nick Brightwell, and we've got Josh Thomas behind the camera doing all the things with the social media, filming all of this and recording it all. And Garrick is taking a break right now from buying guitars, because as you've seen, we've got a few new videos up. We've just moved into this place, and we're going to be open on Saturdays, so you can come in on your day off and see us if you'd like. And if you've liked this content, please like, subscribe and share. So we'll see you next time. Have a good one. Cheers.